Okay, who would like to read this invocation? Volunteer?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Om Ajnana Timiradasya Janananjana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yana Tasame Sri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Mantra prayer to A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Go up or read up or down, Prabhu, the English one or?
This was Nama Om.
I can't see.
You can't see, yeah.
Nama Om. Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Prasharin Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Desha-tarini. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, wait, you haven't finished. 1 minute, huh? Okay, can you see? Hare Krishna, are you there? 1 minute, huh? I think the connection is not stable. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Can. Now can.
Carry on.
Maha Mantra. Maha means great and mantra means sacred chant for deliverance.
No,
Of all mantras in the Vedas,
1 minute. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, you haven't read.
Sri Panchatantra Mantra.
Yeah.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadara. Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadara, Sri Vasa, and all others in the line of devotion. Maha Mantra. Maha means great and mantra means sacred chant for deliverance. Of all mantras in the Vedas, one is called the Maha Mantra or great mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The words Hare pronounce He, Re, Krishna pronounce Krishna, and Rama rhymes with Rama are Sanskrit words. Hare is an address to God's energy known as Radha, and Krishna is name of God, meaning he who is attractive to everyone. Rama means one who gives pleasures and enjoys life. When chanted, the Maha Mantra is a petition to God. O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, this level 2, Gita Gyan, chapter 15. So, just now we were saying Sri Krishna Chaitanya. This is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. This is Prabhu Nityananda. So we take pay obeisances to the lordships and seek blessings from them, so that we can become good devotees and we can understand the Gita very nicely. And here we have Radha Krishna and the two Sakhis. Two Sakhis are the two gopis. So we also take blessings from them and pay obeisances to them. And we can chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. And this is Krishna, Balaram is Krishna, and Balaram is the brother. We also take obeisances and touch their lotus feet so that we can get full mercy from them. Just now we already chanted this. And we also take the blessings of the Guru, Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. If you cannot you cannot respect the Guru, you cannot respect the Acharya. If you cannot respect the Acharya, you cannot respect the Lord. So Krishna is saying how much you respect the Guru and Acharyas before you respect him. Okay, who would like to read this?
Prabhu, I will read Prabhu. Understanding of Gita. That destination is called the Sanatana sky, the eternal spiritual sky. Yat katva na nivartante tat dhamma paramam mama. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being, stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. That is the law of the material world. Whether we use as an example this body or a piece of food or anything, but beyond this temporary world, there is another world of which we have information. That world consists of another nature, which is Sanatana, eternal. The Jiva is also described as Sanatana, eternal, and the Lord is also described as Sanatana in the 11th chapter. We have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and because we are all qualitatively one, the Sanatana Dharma or sky, the Sanatana's supreme personality and the Sanatana living entities. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatana occupation or Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal occupation of the living entity. We are temporarily engaged in different activities, but all of these activities can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up the activities which are described by the Supreme Lord. That is called our pure life. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is a very interesting. We are all Hindus, but in the Hindus there are many sections, right? Then here we have this one section called the Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, Dharma means religion. So when we say Sanatana, we are under the Sanatana Dharma, we are under the eternal religion. Eternal religion is when the Lord created the world, the religion was given to us. When the Lord destroys the world, the religion will be still there, but it will be go back to the Lord. So it is eternal. It is not temporary. It will always be. It is always here, and it will always be here, and it will always go back also to the Lord. For the next creation, again it will be produced. What is this Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan Dharma means the religion for or the way of life and the instructions of all human beings, of the manual. We also call that the manual of the human beings. Now it started from the Vedas. after the Vedas, it became people could not understand the Vedas, so then the Puranas came in, Mahabharata, Ramayana. Ramayana, of course, is a description of Lord Ram who came. So Mahabharata is a description of India in the olden times. So then those are Puranas. Then you have the Skanda Puranas, the other Puranas, all. And then after that, even then, it was difficult for the people, because as the age goes from Satyug downwards towards Kalyug, it became more difficult. So then the Bhagavatam was written by under the instruction of Narada Muni, and Vyasadev wrote, and the Bhagavatam came about. And after the Bhagavatam, again we have the Bhagavad Gita. Now, I want to ask you, Bhagavad Gita came first or Bhagavatam came first? Anyone like to take a guess? Come on, just try, never mind.
Prabhu, what's your question again?
My question is, was Bhagavatam written first or Bhagavad Gita is written first?
Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, why you say that?
Because Bhagavad Gita actually is from Mahabharata. So from Mahabharata only is a section of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, correct. So Mahabharata was written before Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why Bhagavad Gita came first. But it is Bhagavad Gita is our spiritual book, our holy book, and the instructions by Krishna to all of us. So here you can see that we are all eternal. We are Sanatan. We are eternal. So we call Sanatan Dharma is eternal religion, and we are Sanatan. We are eternal. Our soul is eternal, and the Supreme Lord is also eternal, and we should go and read the eternal and be in the eternal religion. That is the purpose of life, and leave this material world. Chapter 15 is a very, very interesting thing Krishna has given us about a tree. If you all remember your level 1, there is a tree, a strange tree. Okay, so we are going deeper this time. This is the yoga of the Supreme Person. So let's carry on. So before this chapter is about the difficult material world and the glimpse into the spiritual world. So Krishna is trying to help us understand about the upside down tree. The material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Okay, so let's read. Who would like to read first? Nava?
Okay. Sri Bhagavan Uvaka Urdhva Mulam Atva Sakam Aswatam Prahur Avyayam Chandamsi Yatsya Parnani Yastam Veda Sa Veda Vid. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upwards and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas.
Thank you, Mataji. So here is written, there is an imperishable tree who has the roots upwards. So what is Krishna talking? How can the roots be upwards? Normally the roots is down, right? A tree. And the branches down. So how can this type of tree exist? Here you see a mountain and you see a reflection of the mountain. So when you see a mountain, you say the mountain goes up and goes down, right? But this mountain goes down and goes up. It's a reflection. So Krishna is speaking about a reflection of a tree. When you see the tree, the branches, if supposing I have a tree here and there's a water, then you will see the branches are here and the roots are here, correct? So that is the thing. Krishna is talking about the material world which is upside down from the actual spiritual world. Okay? All right. This is imperishable. Okay, before we go to this, we can read. Sorry. Who would like to read chapter 15:2 from the book? And then after that, you read this 3 and 4 also. Volunteer?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
15:2. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the object of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive action of human society. 15.3 to 15.4. Na rupam asheha tatu palabatya nanto na chadirna cha samprashtista asvatam enam suviruddha moolam asanga sastrena dranena chitva tata padam tat parimargityavam yasim gada na nivartanti bhuya tam eva chadam purusam prapadye yata pravti prashtra purani. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So you see, so beautifully Krishna is explained. The branches of the tree extend downward and upward. The material world is going here and there, everywhere is entangling you. You cannot get free. The twigs are the objects of the senses. The twigs are like the senses which are seeing. So the tree has also roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. How much you are attached to the material world, so much this root tree is going to uh, capture you. And here you see the real form of the tree cannot be perceived in this world. You see, if you do not read the Bhagavad Gita, you do not read the scripture, you won't know how this material world really starts. The tree is like the material world. How it starts. No one can understand where it ends, and no one will know also when this whole material world will go. When it begin also you don't know. You see, you won't know. Or where its foundation is, how it becomes, how it came about. All this you get in the Bhagavad Gita. If you do not have this Bhagavad Gita, then how you going to understand anything? The material world will just entangle you. But with a determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. The only way you can really get out of this material world is with a weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek the place. Which is place? The spiritual world. Once you go there, you will never return. Don't worry, Krishna said. You will never return back to this material world. Just have to reach the place. That's all. You will never have the desire to come back to this material world because you already got burnt enough and there has surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there you will surrender fully. Here we are trying to surrender. There we will surrender. From whom everything began. So now, Krishna, can you all hear? Can, huh? If you can't hear, please stop me, okay? From whom everything began and from whom everything has extended. So Krishna is saying everything begin from me only. Everything is extended from me since time immemorial. From the beginning to the end, I am the one only who is doing everything. The material world is also my creation, and the spiritual world is also there because of me. Everything. So let's go to see what the slides are. Now we read. Okay. So the leaves are the Vedic hymns. The only thing good about the tree in the material world are the Vedic hymns. It means the spiritual thing. The leaves are the ones. You know, the leaf is the one who is photosynthesizing and getting energy from which the tree can grow. Of course, the roots give water, but anyway, the leaves are like the Vedic hymns. The branches are nourished by the three modes of material nature. This will entangle you. The fruits are the result of the activity, your karma. The twigs are the sense objects, the things that you see, and the roots are bound to fruitive activity. So this is an example in a slide. Okay. Then nourishment of the tree. As the tree is nourished by water, so the tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes the tract is very green. Similarly, where the particular modes of material nature are proportionally greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. So you have this barren land where there's no water. So, but there is this place which is full of water. So anyway, the it is nourished by water, and because there is water, the Lord gives the water. The place becomes beautiful. Otherwise, the place becomes very very difficult. Then the three modes of material nature is a different mode. That means goodness, passion, ignorance. So sometimes the land is in a mode of goodness. This is in a mode of ignorance. Sometimes you can say it's a very horrible place. Okay, who want to stay in the desert? No one wants to stay. We like to stay in this garden, have a nice house, and all. And here you have a lot of animals. Here you will have hardly any animals, and no trees, no fruits, no flowers. So here is an example how you cut down the tree. Just be careful the tree don't fall on you. Okay, you have to be an experienced person. You may be detached, but then if you are not detached according to how Krishna is asking you to detach, the tree might fall on you, and in the end it doesn't work anything. Attachment to the spiritual world, detachment from the material world. um, Aham Sarvasya Prabhaha. I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of the strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders to Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from the material extension. Okay, before we come to this, shall we carry on reading? Who would like to read 5, 6, and 7 from the Bhagavad Gita?
those
Hare
who are,
Krishna.
okay, carry on, May. Sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay, 15.5. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who unbewildered know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person attain to that eternal kingdom. 15.6. That supreme abode of mind is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. 15.7. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts due to conditioned life. They are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So these three verses are so interesting. You see, if you get free from false prestige, you don't become unnecessarily thinking you are so great. Your greatness all come from Krishna, and you, you are free from illusion and false association. What is false association? What do you mean by false association? Meaning you don't associate with the right people. You associated with materially materially minded people. You do not take association from them. You give them your association. You are on the higher level, you are on the spiritual level, you give them association, they benefit from you. If you take their association, you will go backwards in your spiritual life. Doesn't mean that you don't talk to them. You can talk to them, but you talk to them and you give them your association, so they get influenced by your spirituality. Who understanding the eternal, if you understand the Lord and you are done with material lust, you engage your senses so much, and still you're never satisfied. You still want something, you want this. In the end, you're never happy. Every time you're thinking, what shall I do now, when I can get the enjoyment. I'm very bored, right? That's how people think. I'm very bored. Let me do something. Let me go out shopping. Let me go out restaurant. Let me do this. Let me do that. I feel very bored. So that is how. That is actually you are in material lust. You want, and you want. Lust doesn't mean sex. It means everything else also. Which are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress. You do not think of happiness and distress, and you don't worry so much. They are just passing situations, and you are never bewildered. And who unbewildered, that means you are not bewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, and you go back to the eternal kingdom. That's why all of you are here in the Bhagavad Gita class, to try and understand. And then this is Krishna speaking now about the supreme place. There you don't need the sun, and you don't need the moon, and you don't need fire and electricity. The light is there. It is there. It is like they say the jewels are there, and they just give out the light. And the jewels, when they give out the light, is neither cold nor is hot. It's just beautifully nice. And if you reach it, you never return to this material world. If we had fallen before, how is it that we will not fall again? That means we were from the spiritual place, and we from the three-quarter of the spiritual, three-quarter of the creation is spiritual, one-quarter was material. So this one, we in the Chaitanya Charamita is very nicely situated. So we were reading that, I think, on Friday. So those who were here, they could understand. And anyway, coming back, so there, when we go back to the spiritual world, we will understand, we will remember material world and how terrible it is. Just like I think I've told you before, as a little boy or girl, when you say the fire burn and he never burned himself, once he burned himself, he will always be very careful with the fire. Correct? So in this way, the living entities, chapter verse 7. In this conditioned world are my eternal. They are part of me. They are like me. But because they are conditioned in this material world, they are struggling very hard with their six senses, which include the mind. As I told you, you want this, you want that, you want to enjoy, you want to do something. So you want to enjoy, you want to do something, fine, you do it. But you do it with the association of devotees, you do reading Bhagavad Gita with friends, or you want, or you go, and sometimes you go to a devotee's house, you take prasad with them, sometimes you invite them to take prasad, sometimes you make a spiritual program where you invite all the devotees to your house. It's like a party, but it's a spiritual party. It's actually the same thing. Only thing, you put Krishna in the center and the pleasure you get is much better. Otherwise, you go to a party, it's so boring. You have to talk about God knows what, and you eat God knows what, and there is no bhajan. So it's very, very boring. For me, when I go to my relatives' houses, sometimes I got no choice. I have to go because it's a function. So I go there. Firstly, the food also, some are vegetarian, some are non-veg. And then some got onion and garlic. That is even worse. So all this, you're not happy eating. So then you have to talk, how's your this, how's that, non-important things you talk. So anyway, that's the situation. But when you are with your devotees, you will ask, how's your how's your spiritual life going on? Is it okay? You got any problem? And you actually give association and take association. You two-way. You also give association to them, and you also take association from them. And that's how happiness comes. And that's an important thing. If I always I put some videos about 10-15 minutes before the class start, and you can see everyone who is there chanting, or they are so happy, the blissfulness is there. Or you can go to YouTube and you put Hare Krishna and you see all these videos. You can see when the devotees are chanting, when they are doing whatever, they are so happy. The happiness is there. That's real happiness, because they are already in the part of the spiritual world. They are already tasting it, and that will actually make you very happy and peaceful and understand more. Okay, who would like to read this? Understanding the source. Who haven't read, please volunteer.
Understanding the source. Yet one has to find out the cause. I'm the son of my father. My father is the son of such and such a person, etc. By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work. One has to search out that origin of this tree, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the association of persons who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, by understanding, one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality, and by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real tree.
Thank you. So you can understand, right? You supposing you want to know Who is my father? You ask your mother. Who is my father? Mother will say, that is your father. Okay, then you know, and then who is this? This is your uncle. Who is this? This is the mother will say, this is my brother. So the mother is the first one who tells. So you start understanding all your lineage, you know. And so same way, if you want to know about the material world, where we come from, you ask who, we get in touch with spiritual people, a people association of people who are knowledge of that supreme personality of God. Then the understanding becomes gradually detached. Then you will actually understand that this material world is actually no need to become so attached to it. It's not so important at all. It is important, of course, your body is material. It is important. But you don't have to pay too much importance, and you can see that how you get detached, you can actually become happy. This story actually it was in the last Friday. I gave this. It's from Chaitanya Charamita when Brahma comes to meet Krishna. I will send you a recording, okay? Then you all read. You see the recording. It's actually very interesting how Brahma came. So I won't say again. I will just send you the recording so you all can see the recording. So we just read this. Okay. Okay. Who would like to read this? Who haven't read yet?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll try. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sariram Yad Avapnoti Yakchapi Ukramati Swara Grivaitani Samyati Vayur Gandan Ivasya Yat Strotram Chaksum Spasanam Karasana. Oops. Karasana
That's not car. Cha. C-A.
Charasana Granam Evacha Adistaya Manas Chayam Visayan Upasevate. The living entity in the material world carries his different conception of life from one body to another. To an, to another. As the air carries aroma. Oh my god, my screen is a bit 1 minute. My screen is a bit
Okay, now I try.
okay. As the air carries aroma, thus to take another. The living entity thus taking another gross body obtains a certain type and sense of touch which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense object. Thank you.
Okay. So well carries his subtle body. Another as the air carries aroma. Can you switch off your mic? Huh? Okay. So your subtle body is the one that determines your next body. Whether you're going to be handsome or pretty or ugly, it's part of your karma. And whether you're going to be rich or poor is also part of your karma. The subtle body will decide all this, So like the air carries a nice fragrance from the rose garden to your place to you, you say, wow, so nice. If it carries a bad smell, it's because what to do? That's we picked up bad habits, we picked up bad vibrations, we also carry to our next life always. So you get a certain type ear, tongue, nose, touch, which are grouped about the mind. Thus, he enjoys a particular type of sense object. You may even get in this, don't think that you will get a human body. You can even get a pig body or a tiger body or an ant body. So it depends on you. So you be careful what you're doing. You don't want to go into a situation. Would you like to be born poor in your next life? Nobody likes to be born poor. You rather be born rich, right? So in this same way, who would like to be born as an animal? So it's up to you. You do. You be careful what you are doing. So anyway, this is pictures of people who like to. Anyway, these are stories lah. If you like to expose your body, you become a tree. You like to sleep too much, you become a nice bear. And then you like to eat so much everything rubbish also you eat, become picky. And I mean, of course lah, yeah? If you are very what is this? You like a lot, you don't like to eat vegetarian food, you like to eat meat only. There are some people, they don't like to eat vegetarian at all, they like to eat meat only. So maybe you'll become a tiger to satisfy your desire. You know, your desire is to eat a lot of meat. So you can become a tiger. Krishna gives you the body to satisfy you fully. Okay, so now, okay, 10, someone can read 10 and 11.
The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. 11. The enduring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to.
Thank you. So 10 is the foolish cannot understand. If you are foolish, you do not go and read the scriptures nicely, you cannot understand what you will, how you will, after you die, what type of body you're going to get. Because they are so ignorant. They're only thinking, oh, I hope I get something better. But according to your very great desire, you get that type of body. And then, but if your eyes are trained, but whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see this. If you have the knowledge, you can understand where you're going next. The endeavoring transcendentalists, you are all transcendentalists, you are all trying to transcend the material world, are situated in self-realization, and you can see clearly, but the mind of those who are not developed cannot understand, not situated in self-realization, cannot understand what is taking place. They are like blind, spiritually blind. They don't know where they are going. Okay, who hasn't read? Can you please read this? 12 and 13.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Ya Aditya Gatam Tijo Jagat Vasayate Khilam. Yak Chandramasi Yak Chaknau Tat Tejo Vidhi Mamaham. Gam Avishya Cha Bhutani Darayami Aham Yojasa. Pusnami Chausade Sarva Soma Bhutva Rasa Maka. The splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. I enter into each planet and my energy, they say, in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So the splendor, Krishna says that I am the one that supplies the whole energy. And as we saw in the Chaitanya Charamita, this is called the Devi Dham. Dham means place. Devi is controlled by Devi. Which Devi? Durga Devi. So I will send you the recording. So you all please see the recording. It explains very nicely this chapter. This 15.12, 13, it explains, I mean this chapter 15, it explains very nicely. So I will send you the copy. I haven't posted, so I will send. And after that, you all please see. So Krishna is telling in the Chaitanya Charamita. In the Chaitanya Charamita, Mahaprabhu has compressed all this information into four main chapters, and one of the chapter is the one that I just completed. There are another three more very important chapters. The whole knowledge is in there. You know, Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and he is now giving in the Chaitanya Charamita all the scriptures from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Puranas, everything all condensed in Chaitanya Charamita. So it is actually a very interesting book, and I'm giving you those four chapters, which a lot of people don't know. I don't know why. They read Chaitanya Charamita, but they forget about it. But it's my favorite. These four chapters are very favorite of mine because they are Mahaprabhu is telling very nicely all from all the Puranas, the very high philosophy, and it's quite sometimes you may not understand it so much, but never mind, it's okay. At least you understand 60-70%. That's a lot already. Okay, so Krishna says he is the one who supplies all the world, the material world. Okay, who haven't read yet? Who haven't read? Prema, have you read?
Hare Krishna, I have read, but I can read again.
Okay, read.
Aham Vaisvaranaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Asrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachami Anam Chaturvidam. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I will join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna says there are four kinds of foodstuffs. What are the four kinds? Anyone knows? The four kinds of foodstuff. Liquids, solids, what else? You drink, you eat.
Prabhu, and chewing.
And licking. Yeah. Sucking, licking, chewing, and drinking. These are the four kinds of foodstuff. So Krishna is saying, I am the one that is in the stomach. I giving the fire in the stomach. If there is no fire in the stomach, the food that you eat cannot digest. So our stomach sometimes cannot digest. We must have cooked food or or fruits or something. But for animals, they can digest like that. The snake, when he eats, he just swallow his prey and then digest the whole body. Have you seen? Huh? I think you have seen. So their digestive power is stronger. But Krishna has given the fire in all this digestive power. How he does it? By putting in charge who? Devi, Durga Devi, and Durga Devi is looking after everything under the direction of the Lord. Okay, who haven't read, please, last chance. Shankari, you have read that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I'll read. Sarvasya Shaham Ridi Sani Vishto Mada Shrimte Janan Apoham Cha Vedescha Sarver Aham Iva Vedyo Vedanta Kre Veda Vid Iva Chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known indeed. I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I'm the knower of the Vedas.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
About how he is running the material world. He's giving you some idea, you know. And if you are a devotee, you can understand. Especially he is guiding our life, especially for the devotees he's guiding. Because he knows the devotee can pass the exams and can come back to the spiritual world. Especially for the devotees, he is trying to give us. Like if you are a teacher, you have students, you will know these students can make it. So you'll definitely, the teacher will definitely do the best. Okay, let's give them the maximum. And then when you are going for a university and the teacher, when you graduate, you know how happy the teachers are. They are very happy. They say, my students, I've been teaching them and they graduated. And they are so happy. They get a lot of fulfillment. So Krishna, he also is teaching us. And he gets a lot of fulfillment when he sees, oh, they have graduated, they have come back to me. That's wonderful. So Krishna is trying to tell that I am the knower of the Vedas and I am the compiler of the Vedas. I am both. Don't think anything less. So whatever I tell you, you listen and you follow. 15. So we need to read 16, 17, and 18. Anyone has not read? If not, we go second round.
Prabhu, I volunteer.
Okay.
Okay, Chef. Text 16. There are two classes of beings, the fallen and infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Text 17. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the super soul, the imperishable Lord himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them.
18.
Chapter 15, 18. Yasmat sharam atitoham aksharat api chotama atosmi loke videcha prahita purusottama. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. Thank you, Prabhu.
So Krishna is saying there are two classes of people, fallible and infallible. We are the fallible. That's why we are in the material world. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, everyone is called infallible. When we reach the spiritual world, the real internal part of the spiritual world, we are totally infallible. We will never fall. And that time, from the fallible, we become infallible. And besides these two, there is a supreme Lord, the supreme soul, Krishna himself, who has entered as the super soul in the three worlds, and he's maintaining them. All the living entities he's maintaining also. And he's also entered into the three worlds. His energy, he has put his energy and made the inert material world into active world. Actually, the material also is part of him, but he has put in what you say, his energy So the material world lives, and the living entities are the ones that are energetic. He has created all the cars for us, all the bodies for us to take hold and drive. And because I am transcendental, because I am above everything, you know, fallible and infallible, even the infallible, I'm above them. I am the supreme. Because I am the greatest, I am celebrated by both in the world. In this world, we are celebrating, we are eh, we are we are praying to the Lord, we are we are appreciating the Lord, we are chanting His glories in this world, and also I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas also, in the scriptures also. He is celebrated as the supreme person. So Krishna is telling, don't ever think twice. All this is there. Okay, who haven't read yet? Prema, you read already.
Hare Krishna, I read already.
You read
I
again.
can read. I can read again.
Yeah.
Yo mam evam asammudo janati purusottamam sa sarva vit bhajati mam sarva bhavina bharata. Whoever knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna says, you remember, you, without doubting, don't doubt that I am the Supreme Lord. So then sometimes we think, there is sometimes our mind is very naughty. Is there God or there is no God? Sometimes they say, why, if there is God, why is there so many problems in this material world? If you go to jail and you are stuck in the jail, you think it's a very nice life you will be leading? No. That's why this material world is a jail. That's why there are problems. And Krishna gives the independence to all these people to do and fight and do and this. Then you will understand that without everyone concentrating on the Supreme Lord, there is no peace in this world, there is no happiness in this world. And because the place is temporary, that is the nature of the material world. So that is why. And you really understand, the moon size is equal, the moon is smaller than the sun, right? So when there is an eclipse and the moon is in such an atmosphere that it is exactly between the earth and the sun, when the eclipse is there, it covers the moon exactly. There is a video, I saw a scientific video, and the moon, always only one side of the moon is facing the earth. We cannot see the other side of the moon. You understand what I'm talking? The moon, when we see the moon, we always see the same side. The earth has many sides, right? All round. The moon also got round, right? But the moon will always see the sun. All part of the moon will see the sun, but we will never be able to see the other side of the moon. We are only seeing one side of the moon. It's a very uh, strange, what do you say, planet. This moon is like a planet, small planet is going around the earth. And they say the moon is 1/4 the size of earth. And if you're talking about gravitational pull, you say sometimes that the sun has gravitational pull is making the planet circle around the earth. But the moon is so big that actually the earth's gravitational pull should not be able to let it come round. So who is running all this? Definitely there is a creator. And why is the moon exactly the same? and it is lighter than the earth. So all these things, the scientists, they say that we cannot explain why the moon is going around the earth, and it is why it is lighter. If it is lighter means in the middle is hollow. What is in the hollow? The earth in the middle is not hollow, it's full. So in this way, there are so many things that if there is no creator, it cannot really happen. There is no such thing. It doesn't work. How can the planets float? There are so many things. I mean, the people who say there is no God, they have their points, but that points are not valid if you really think about it. And you people who are uh, so in this way, Krishna is speaking that you don't doubt. I am the Supreme Lord. I am the one. How can the body digest food and how can the body grow? All this is all by Krishna's energy. So we can understand that without the creator, there is no such thing. The world cannot move and nothing can move. And even, I don't know if I told you this, once the India, India and Russia were good friends because China was fighting with India and they took over Tibet. India went to a war with China, and the Chinese managed to, Tibet wanted to be independent, and then the Tibetan wanted to be under India. But anyway, the Chinese wanted Tibet. So there was a war, and someone other China won the war and took Tibet. So anyway, what happened is that because China took Tibet, so then India lost the war. So in this way, uh, uh, this India make friends with Russia because China have nuclear bomb, India don't have. So they make friends with Russia, and Russia make friends with India, and then Russia was helping India. So one time, they had very good relationship. So Russian president came to India, and he visited India. Sometimes when there's a friendship between two countries, the leaders go to there, and the leaders come from there. So anyway, when he went back to Russia, the reporters in Russia asked, the first time you have gone to India, what is your impression? He said, before I go to India, I feel there is no God. But once I went to India, I feel there is God. Because you see, if there was no God, I think India cannot, I don't know how India is moving. There are so many people, I don't know how everything is moving by itself. So there must be a God. So in this way, it's a material point, but the thing is that if there is no God, the whole world cannot. The planets will collapse, will smash into each other. There is no such thing. Everything is doing exactly 365 and a quarter days it goes round, and the speed is going round. So there is no such thing as no God. So please don't take all these funny stories from people who don't believe in God. They are all going to be losers in the end because they will never go back to the spiritual world. They will always come back to the material world. If there is no God, what's the point of living? Why are you wasting our time here? So then we have the story of Alanat. Okay, I'll tell you the story later. Let's finish first. Okay, who would like to read the last one? Nivashini.
Hare Krishna. Iti guya tamam sastram idam uktam maya naga etat budva buddhiman syat krita kritya sa bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection.
Most confidential part of the Vedic scripture, O sinless one. So Krishna is saying the material world and the spiritual world. He's now coming very, from chapter 1 to 6, 7 to 12. Now he is coming very closely. He's describing the spiritual world, and he's describing the difference between the material world and the spiritual world in this chapter. So Krishna says, if you understand what is the correct place to go. You understand, don't get too engrossed in material things. Understand how to cut the material knots so that you can go back to the spiritual world. So here we have the story of Alanath. So in Alanath, there is a story of a boy. The boy, there was a deity of the Lord, and the father was a great devotee. So one day the father said, I want to go I have some work in another town. So he tell his wife, I'm going, so you just cook and offer the boga to the deities, the food to the deities. Then she said, who's going to offer? He said, your son can offer, you know. So then he taught his son that you must offer to the Lord, and after you eat, you take away the plates, okay? The son said, yes, father, sure, I will do this. The son is a very nice son. So then, normally in those days also, the woman will cook and the man will offer. But nowadays the man also cook, the woman also offer. So it is actually good also. Anyway, so in that house, anyway, the boy, when the father left, so the mother cooked. And then he tell the boy, okay, take this offering plate and ask the Lord to eat. Make sure you feed the Lord properly, huh? Say, okay, okay, mama. So then he go and tell, and he chanted the mantras. And then after that, he went out. Then he came in. Then he see the food is still there. Then he tell Krishna, Krishna, why you never eat the food? My mother has cooked so nicely for you, and then I'm offering to you. Why you not eating the food? Please eat. See, the boy doesn't know that actually the Lord already eat is giving you prasad. He thinks the Lord, what is this? Never eat, So he scold the Lord. So the Lord thinking to himself what to do. So he said, okay, just to please the boy, he came and he ate all the food. And then the boy took the empty plate out. And then the mother said, where's the prasad? He said, Krishna, eat lah. You asked me to feed Krishna, I feed him. Hey, you ate right the food. No, I gave to Krishna to eat. No, you ate. So anyway, the boy said, really? And the boy looked so sincere. The mother don't know what to do. She said, okay. And then the next day again, same thing. Again, the same thing, no food came back. Because the boy asked the boy. And then the third day also same. Then after the fourth day already, the husband came. And then the husband said, everything okay? He said, not okay. Your son is very naughty. After offering the food, he eat everything and bring empty plate out. What type of son are you teaching him? Then the father go and call the son. Hey, come here. What is it, huh? Your mother complained that no food, huh? Say, yes, I asked Krishna to eat. Krishna, eat! Why you ask me to feed Krishna? I feed him. Okay, he's happy, I'm also happy. Okay, you really, huh? Okay, never mind. So anyway, after 1-2 days, the husband and wife decided, okay, let us really see and catch the boy eating the food, and I will scold him. So then he tell the son, okay, son, today I have to go also another place, huh? You offer, huh? Said, okay. But the father never go, he pretend he went out. And after that, he came back. And then the mother gives the food, the boga to the the cooked food to the boy to offer. And the boy went in. And then the father was hiding behind the curtain. Then he chanted a mantra. He said, Krishna, come and eat. Krishna already know that the father is there because how come Krishna don't know? So you don't come. Hey, every time I offer to you, you come. Huh? Today what happened to you? Come and eat. And then he started crying. So the Lord don't know what to do. He came and ate. And then the father saw this. He got a shock of his life. Then he said, oh, this boy really, I have been offering whole life. And then Krishna always give me back the prasad. But this time he ate. He came as deity form. So this is a very famous deity of Alanath. If you go to Alanath, which is I think somewhere in Bengal or what, you there's a temple for the Lord. So nice story. So it's a true story. Don't think it's all fake story. And who wants Bhagavatam? Who wants Chaitanya Charimita? And so now there are questions and answers. 1 minute, I stop the recording.